questions. I'm joined by Priyankar Biswas of JM Financial. He's an expert on this industrials area, and PP Gupta, the chairman and managing director of Techno Electric and Engineering Company, an extremely successful company in the power cycle, the power output and construction space. Mr. Gupta, Priyankar, good morning and thank you very much for joining me. Mr. Gupta, first up to you. All the older contracts that you'll have, is it just a pass-through? Or are the people who are giving you the contract saying that now that you may have lesser cost, can we share the benefit? I mean, is it smooth or is there some negotiation?
Ma'am, firstly, this reduction in GST has happened only in the renewable generating space,
yes.
Number one. And there is no change in GST as far as transmission is concerned,
okay.
Space is concerned. 12% to 5% has happened only in generation space. Secondly, power is not in GST as of today. So this is, to my mind, this benefit cannot be passed on to consumers because there is no GST on power.
Okay.
It is only on capacity building, which has come down. So there will be a saving of around, to my mind, about 15 to 20 lakhs a megawatt, no doubt, in setting up of the capacity of the power stations. But the bigger challenge which we are seeing today is there is no demand for power in renewable power.
To that. Yeah.
In the day times, we see the cost of power in power exchanges is as low as 50 paisa or below.
Yeah.
So that is hampering the further capacity augmentation in this space.
Yeah.
Government need to look into power reforms or bring power also in GST. That will benefit government hugely, even if they bring it in 5%, you see. We sell 2 trillion units a year, ma'am, every year in this country, and the bill is no less than 10 trillion rupees, 10 lakh crore. If we take 5 rupee also as a power cost on an average across all the segments. Taking it in 5% slab also will mean 50,000 CR.
Yeah. I take your point that there is no way to claim.
Tariff in the country to the consumer will come down by 15% straightaway.
Because you can pass on the cost.
Because capex cost will go down by 18%, and hence the tariff will go down by 15%. So government won't have to provide so much of subsidy, to the discounts.
All right. I got that. And anyway, the surplus solar capacity is a recent development because of the low demand. One hopes that it is only seasonal. And with all the data centers that you are servicing, this will not be a longer term problem. But I'll come to that in just a minute. Let me get the GST thing out of the way. Priyankar, thank you for your time. But did you hear from any of the construction companies that, there could be this tug of war between I'll keep some of the benefit and, renegotiate the contract in some fashion? Is that a possibility?
So this is a very unlikely possibility. That is how I'll put it, because generally a lot of it is actually government capex that is happening today.
Okay. And
within that, generally it is covered in what we term as a change in law. So essentially what happens is, based on the changes, the contract values will of course be renegotiated, and there should not be any impact as such.
Okay.
But the benefit that we see is earlier there was this inverted situation. For example, certain inputs used to be at relatively high GSTs.
18, cement obviously.
Yes. So like that. So because of that, there were this input credit build-ups which could not either be utilized or it took a lot of time to wind down. So that situation, especially from a working capital standpoint of view, should actually be better, and better compliance as well, because everything is now essentially at relatively similar rates.
So you expect that working capital cost or amount needed for, say, companies like L&T, for people who use a lot of cement, maybe even KEC, Kalpataru, I don't know, the people who use large amounts of cement, you think that will go down considerably?
Yes, the it may not be considerable, but it would definitely be a meaningful impact. So what we had highlighted as an example in our report is that, for instance, it's almost like 15,000 crores is what is there on L&T balance sheet as of FY25.
Unclaimed ITC credit.
No, it was mentioned as advances to suppliers and indirect tax balances, of which most of it would be indirect tax balances. So that indirect tax balances number could actually come down materially in let's say, once in the relatively medium term.
Okay. Mr. Gupta, to come back to you and continue with the power theme that you referred to. Clearly, all those solar contracts signed with SCCI now are not getting PPAs from DISCOMs because DISCOMs are somewhat oversupplied. But do you think this is a short-term problem? One good year of early and plentiful monsoons has meant that temperatures have been low in various parts of the country and therefore demand is lower for solar power. But this could be only maybe 2025 problem?
Ma'am, in power, we have always dealt more as a essentiality commodity than as a commodity facilitating quality of life. Let me put it in two parts.
Okay.
That is the challenge we face always. The tariffs of power is all-time high in our country, which does not aid consumption more. If we can, the issue is seasonal, of course. That is a compulsive part of the demand. But more important is to induce the demand in the system. If we can bring down our tariffs by 15-20% or 25% more easily by taking away all these taxes, baggage of taxes, and also cross subsidies as existing in the system, you will see that more and more consumer will like to consume, power for more aids, more, automation, mechanization, data consumption. Society's quality of life will be a lot better if power is more affordable.
Okay. Just to refer to the issue that Priyankar mentioned, are you also, those who are constructing renewable power projects, are they also likely to be saddled with unclaimable input tax credit? Is that a likelihood since, as you point out, they cannot claim, there is no GST on power?
To my mind, that is unlikely, ma'am, because there is always some value-added component involved in the capex. It will more or less should neutralize. That is not the challenge I see. Okay. But bigger challenge is feeders are not available in the market to the generators today. That also is stagnating the more capacity becoming operational in the system. Okay. That is also choking the system today.
Okay. The biggest, you will see private sector companies entering and correcting that?
Yeah, all are private only, ma'am, today. Even generation is all private by and large. Yes. By either, it is all through private investment.
Okay. So a temporary mismatch of one element of the power cycle.
I will say temporary, ma'am. It is going to last in this country and grow further bigger, my mind. Okay. Because we are not planning advanced capex in evacuation, in transmission. We want to do capacity to capacity and often right of way, acquiring land parcels and deploying these feeders is taking no less than 3 to 4 years.
I agree with you, sir. I have gone through enough of power cycles and in the 2008 point where we were trying to provide excess capacity, we ended up only having huge NPAs simply because other parts of the system were not up to speed. Certainly not DISCOMs. Right, that's a big discussion for which I'll invite you. But Priyankar, is there a worry that capex pipeline will reduce because the government has given away 1 trillion by way of income tax and another $500 billion by way of GST cuts? There is a huge advance spending already done, front-loaded. Are we going to see lower pipeline?
Yes, there is a worry. So, for instance, as you were rightly highlighting, there has been a fall in the tax collections. So, besides the GST angle, like $500 billion that you said, the direct tax collections have been relatively weak. Now, essentially, some of the sectors where we can have worries is, for example, water that we had highlighted in our report as well. So where there is a disproportionately strong dependence on, let's say, the central government budgets, even significant portions of the railways as well. But the good part is a lot of this capex that we think about today. So let's say power transmission, for example, even generation on the renewable side. By and large, these are private in nature or PPP in nature.
Or PSUs.
Or PSUs in nature, yes. So essentially, we do not see impacts there at least. So those sectors should largely be shielded in our view.
Okay. They are not dependent on the fisc. I agree. Actually, we're run out of time. We have tried to attempt too many themes, perhaps. I'll invite both of you again to discuss separately the many gaps in India's power cycle theme. Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta and Priyankar, for joining us and helping us understand the situation better. Wrap up on Bazaar. Chartbusters coming.